Welcome to WARF Essential Topics. I'm Eric Iverson, CEO of the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation, otherwise known as WARF. In this video, titled Understanding the WARF Innovation Disclosure Form, you'll hear from two of our colleagues, Senior Intellectual Property Manager Victoria Sutton and graduate student and WARF Ambassador Kendra Hanslik. Their discussion will review the Innovation Disclosure Form we invite inventors to complete before their disclosure meeting with WARF. They will also explore some common questions and answers that our university colleagues have shared as they approach their disclosure meeting. Thanks for joining Understanding the WARF Innovation Disclosure Form. Here are Victoria Sutton and Kendra Hanslik.
Hello, my name is Kendra Hanslik. I'm a WARF Ambassador and a graduate student with the Neuroscience Training Program.
I'm Victoria Sutton. I'm a Senior Intellectual Property Manager at WARF, and we're here today to talk with you about the WARF Innovation Disclosure Form, which you can find on our website at warf.org. We want to talk with you a little bit about the form, the questions we ask, and the information we're hoping to learn from you, and what you can expect if you submit the form. And we also want to mention that one of the reasons we're doing that in this form is that we're hoping this will make this information really accessible to all of our researchers across campus. We want to learn about all the innovative work being done on campus, and we know we're not hearing about all of it, in part because we know that our innovator pool that brings us innovations to explore does not match our researcher population across campus. And this is a problem nationally as well as internationally, and a challenge that our field is grappling with. For example, for patent applications filed in the US, only 22% list at least one woman inventor, and only 13% of the inventor pool are women. WARF's numbers are a little better. 36% of our US patent application filings include at least one woman inventor, and 15% of our inventor pool are women. However, that still doesn't match our researcher population across campus.
How is this form used?
So our form is intended to be a simple way for you to provide basic information for us to begin to understand your innovation, and for us to meet with you to learn more. This information is useful for us in beginning our decision process, and also for the UW-Madison to begin its equity review process, with which they identify obligations associated with how your innovation should be managed and any reporting requirements that go with it.
How does this form apply to non-patentable innovations?
While WARF mostly works with patentable inventions, we work in lots of other types of intellectual property and other cases as well, including plant protection, copyrights, trademarks, biomaterials, technique and know-how, and more.
How would you like the Who is your IP manager at WARF section to be filled out on this form?
If you happen to know who your IP manager is at WARF, great, fill that out. Otherwise, feel free to leave that blank. We'll figure that out internally and then reach out to you to learn more.
Who would you define as an innovator?
Innovators are generally researchers who have contributed significantly with intellectual aspects of an innovation. It's a little different for each forms of intellectual property, so we just ask you to list whoever seems key to you, and we'll explore when we meet with you who should be formally listed for whatever type of intellectual property might be relevant for your innovation.
What is important to know for filling out the primary UW department section?
What's most important for us is understanding the affiliation that was relevant at the time that researcher worked on the innovation. Oftentimes, researchers have graduated, left the university, or changed departments, and that's all fine. What we need to understand is what was relevant at the time of the innovation.
What types of details are you looking for in the innovation details section?
In addition to the title, we're asking you to describe the innovation in your own words and however you see fit. This doesn't need to be a long description. Remember, this form is meant to take only 10 to 12 minutes to complete. So describe it in your own words, and we'll learn more when we meet with you. We also ask you to explain how this is different than what came before or why it's needed, and then explain how you envision your invention being used in the world, which helps to give us a sense of the commercial prospects and the relevant market spaces for your innovation.
What types of attachments are useful for this section?
Any kind of attachment that seems useful for you for helping you tell us your story would be great. But we're not asking you to create anything new. Whatever you have lying around would be helpful, whether you're creating it for a manuscript or a poster or pulling together something for a grant application. We welcome you to share that with us. It's great information, but if you don't have anything handy, your words are enough, and when we meet with you, we'll learn more.
Why do you need to know about presentations and publications?
When information or materials related to an innovation become public, that impacts our strategic options for protecting and commercializing your technology. So we need to know what's happened in the past and what you have planned for the near future.
What qualifies as a public disclosure?
A public disclosure can be manuscripts, posters, departmental seminars, describing your innovation on a website, public demonstrations, class presentations, anything that gives the public access to information about your innovation can count as a relevant public disclosure. And these matter because they begin to impact what we can do with your technologies, particularly from a protection perspective. For example, in the US, the minute you tell the world about your innovation, you start a one-year clock, and we must get to the patent office within that 1 year, or we have lost patent rights for the innovation as you disclosed it. And across the world, the minute you tell the world about your innovation, we have lost all patent rights. So if those are important for the commercial potential of your innovation, that can be really impactful.
Do you really need to know funding details?
We do. We don't have to know them in the moment you're filling out this form, which is why we include it as a checkbox, but we will need to know it before reaching our decision and letting the UW know about your innovation. And if you check that box, you'll see that we start by asking for information that helps give us a timeline. When did you begin working on this project, and when did you demonstrate that this innovation works? And then we go on to ask for specific types of funding and legal agreements that are relevant to helping us understand how your innovation needs to be managed, starting with federal funding, non-federal funding, and then asking for various agreements like MTAs, confidentiality agreements, software licenses, consortium agreements, collaboration agreements, anything else that may be relevant for understanding how we need to manage your innovation. We also ask whether or not any of the researchers are associated with the VA. All of this is helpful as we understand what your obligations are, and also we share this information with UW-Madison for them to begin their equity review process. They'll work with you and through administration to reach a final determination, and then share that information with all parties involved, including WARF, so we can manage your innovation appropriately.
What types of funding are really necessary to include or not?
I would include anything you think contributed to the innovation, and then the UW Equity Review team will follow up with you as needed.
What should I expect after I submit the form?
We will reach out to you to learn more, to set up a meeting at your convenience. And in that meeting, we want to understand more about your innovation, what your plans are for it, what your hopes are for it, and ultimately bring all that information back for our monthly meeting, which typically occurs on the third Thursday of every month, in which meeting we review all of the innovations that have come to us since the prior meeting and make a decision about whether or not WARF feels we can play a helpful role in moving your technology out into the world. We also notify the UW-Madison about your innovation and share the information you provided so they can begin their equity review process. And we reach out to you with our decision and any next steps.
We shared a lot of information today. Thank you for tuning in.
And please remember, we want to hear about your innovations, and you can't come to us too early or too often. We want to learn about all the innovative work that's happening across campus and see if we can be a part of moving your technologies out into the world.